Hey, welcome to another stream. Going to work on the Routemaster again tonight, starting on stage 48. And not sure how the top-down camera is going to be. It's a little bit, to my eye, it's been a little bit jerky. It's a brand new camera. I don't have a really high-speed USB cable for it, but I do have an HDMI cable coming today. It is the same camera that Todd has, that Ian has, that Donnie has. Fairly decent camera. It's actually native 1080p, and can't say enough about it. I like it a lot. Based on Donnie's suggestion, I picked up a little remote. That's just because when we're still at home, Todd. Well, there is that.
That's because I was first again.
Yeah, there's that. And Todd is here again tonight as the producer.
Eric here.
Says he's heading out to go trick or treating, and Gordon's here. Good evening, Gordon. It's actually Gordon. You guys can blame Gordon on how early I streamed because he could never make the stream, or he could make the stream, but he was making the stream at like 3 o'clock in the morning his time. So I've got it as early as I can to kind of help out the folks over in the UK. So
and happy Halloween.
Yes, absolutely, folks. Happy Halloween. All our kids are, our youngest child that's or our youngest grandchild in the area is 21. So we kind of don't do a whole lot for Halloween anymore. So let me go ahead and switch cameras. And you can see on this camera, the picture to me is better. I need to play with it a little bit because I need to brighten it up. But the trick or treat, welcome, Gordon. But the thing that I really think is cool, I don't have any candy, Donnie, is being able to zoom in. And you saw the pause there for a second. That is the full digital and that's full digital and optical zoom, and it's still really well focused. That right, the picture quality, the really fast focus, those are okay. That zoom sold me on this camera. So let me get the first pack open. And if you remember, last week we stopped here, had just done this door, and I've actually looked, this front wall. I've looked ahead, and this actually goes in the front here. And all the seats are in. There's another panel, a cream-colored panel that'll go on the back here. Don't know that I'm going to get that far, but we'll see how far we get. I got everything ready. See, that's what Todd, I need an on-site producer.
You need a Cisco.
Yes, I do, because I didn't bring up the screwdrivers.
I want to give you props on 132 of these videos, by the way.
So what?
I said this is Model Mania 132. I want to say that's serious props, 132 of them.
Yeah, thank you. And that doesn't count any of the live streams that we do with HTM. And speaking of which, the 132nd stream, the 133rd stream will be on Thursday because that will be 2 years on YouTube.
Dave is here. Hi, Dave, DS Models and Vintage.
Hey, Dave, welcome.
I love when he joins the stream. He's good information when you have questions.
He is fantastic. He's like, I don't know, that Todd guy when I was doing the Enterprise.
Donnie agrees. The fast focus is what sold him. I agree. That's why I bought it, was the fast focus. That's why I have it.
Well, the fast focus was good, but the zoom was outstanding. And I was sitting there going back and forth on it until I found a not used, just open box on eBay. 37. Let me make sure. Didn't see it in the bag. Oh, let me double check because there's supposed to be 8 of those. Check in here. That could be really irritating, but not a showstopper. It just means I'll have to, if I get that far. Ah, there it is. I was going to say, if I got far enough to where I needed all, actually I will need all 8, but if I just steal them out of the next pack. And if I get far enough, I would have to, lightning fast. Sorry, reread the chat. But if I got far enough, I would have to go get it out of the pack from the second floor. Very cool. IP. Man, you left me just hanging tonight, Todd. Okay, I left me hanging. I didn't think this through at all. I didn't have the blue towel or the screw boxes, which fortunately they're just across the room.
It's right over there.
Exactly. You were right. Where'd you get that from?
You?
I know. And if you've never been to my streams before, you will find out in a hurry. I entertain myself a lot. I take you guys along for the ride, but I tend to entertain myself a lot during these streams.
Does it take that much?
So what?
I said, does it take that much?
No, it doesn't take much at all to entertain.
Excellent.
Nope, not at all.
That way you'll never be bored.
Exactly. And another milestone, you mentioned the 132 Buckman's or 132 Model Manias. Today I hit 300 subscribers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying it. I'll have to do something maybe at 500. See, once I'm reading notes here. Once all the side walls are correctly fitted, the seats will be firmly anchored in place and they will keep the side walls rigid. Okay, so the first thing it tells me to do, just because, move this out of the way.
Donnie says one goofy and you're entertained.
I am. Imagine how I am with 9 of them in this room. Oh, wait, 10.
Does that count? Does that count the one that was decapitated?
No, that's without the one that was decapitated.
Oh, you had plenty of them then.
And this one used to be part of a cup. And when the cup wore out, I kept it. And my wife had stuck it to the back of my TV, and then we moved on with it. Got rid of that TV, it moved on, and I still have it. I'm going to stick it to something eventually. Okay, so this is, why am I lifting it? Move it up here. That's the inside.
How handy is that?
I know, it is awesome. Some things I can't zoom in on because I'm not going to bring it down to where it's showing my laps. But come on.
Oh, if you're zoomed close in, you got to go back farther away. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, let me back. These are the lugs that attach to the side of the bus and will attach to the sides of the seats. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should zoom back out. It's too bad you can't run that from there.
Right? Like camera control and
That would be rather entertaining. So there are 5 of these on here, and they just sit on there like that. There is a pin on each one. And
they just snap into place?
They pop into place, and then there's a screw that comes in from the other side.
Ah, gotcha.
Now, these are actually supporting members for the bus. They sound like they pop in pretty solidly. That one just slid in. Make sure that, yeah, there's a pin on it. Now, the fun part is going to be not having them drop out while I'm trying to put screws in on the other side. And it says DP screws. So I'll get a bunch of them out. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be all I need. Make sure, I do have the right point on here. That's awesome. These are going into plastic, so no oil this time.
Dave says 2 screws in each one. Gotcha.
Yep. 2 screws plus a dog hair on that one. And I'm not tightening them all the way down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just get them started so that I can turn it all the way over and actually do everything, the rest of it on screen.
Donnie
you
says,
can kind of see it.
Donnie says his R2 parts are still stuck in Kansas. They've been there since Thursday. Oh,
that's not good.
It always seems like Eric, his parts are shipped later and he gets them first, or is it the other way around? No, Donnie gets his shipped later and they show up before Eric.
Yeah. I don't know where my parts are for the VW Bug or VW Bus, but my parts for Pack 11 for this, which was supposedly, according to the post office, was supposed to deliver on Friday, but they don't take into account that it's still in customs. Customs takes it and sits there and stares at the box for a week and then sends it on. I don't think they open it because I don't think I've ever gotten one that's been opened. But it sits there in Chicago for a week. If it goes through anywhere besides Chicago, it continues right on.
Oh, poor Donnie. Not this time. Eric got his a week ago. I was going to ask you, did you get your latest Iron Man parts?
Yes. I don't remember what day it was, but I got the latest Iron Man. They are actually all my parts on all the builds are coming like clockwork.
Nice. Oh, that's wonderful.
And I will have to do an Iron Man stream soon. And for those of you who are not on or have not been on the HTM streams this weekend, or we're not here Friday, Thursday kind of I don't know how long the stream's going to be, but it's going to be, I'm going back to the Terminator because I've got the power mod, and the Terminator was actually the pack one of the Terminator was the first stream on this channel.
Like we're going full circle.
Yep.
Dave said he got his very nice. He got his oil pots. They arrived yesterday. You're very welcome for the link. I'm glad they showed up. They're so helpful.
They are.
Have you used them yet, Dave?
Actually, got the wrong one. Slightly too pointy on the screwdriver there. Better, much better. One of these days, I will pick up the Wera screws that or screwdrivers like you've got, Todd.
The Weras? I love the Weras. They're wonderful. The Weras?
Yeah. But these, I like this set. This is actually like the second or third set like this I've had. You know, as my son needed screwdrivers, I gave him one. Working on plastic parts.
Yep. Yeah, you know you can actually use the all on plastic parts too if the screw is super stubborn.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I finally had to replace. Oh well, I got a second one. I didn't technically replace it. A PHO, my Wera, after 3 years. That looks good.
So there, the inside screws on the back. Find the mouse so I can look and see what's next. It says attach it to the floor. Let me see. It's IP screws. Looks like 5 IP screws. You know, if I ever bothered to read this, it'd be a lot easier, but I like a challenge. I was about to try and put it on the wrong side, which it wouldn't have fit because there's a notch right here and a corresponding channel right here because that's where the gas cap will go at. And it just slides down on here. It's about to say, okay, slides down on here, and this will actually tie in this back piece as well. One of the screw holes is right back here. And that's 5 of the IP screws. And I'm going to start with this one back here. And again, just to make sure that I get them all threaded first, they all thread without any problem. I'm going to get them threaded and then go from there. You know, I just thought of something. I'm going to leave these loose, and Dave could probably tell me that I need to make sure that they're attached to the seats correctly first, but I'm going to live risky. That was our dog this time.
So is there just a pin on the seat that slides into that holder? Is that how that works?
There's a little bit more than that. There's actually a screw that is going to go from through the bracket that's on the seat.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Yeah, on the seats, there's a bracket on each one of these. And that's why. Okay. The screw that goes through this bracket will actually hit the center post on all of these.
Gotcha.
I thought I pulled out only 5. I did.
Donnie says it's a British bus. You gotta call it petrol.
I don't have to call it petrol.
Where's the boot and the bonnet?
Of course, I do call it the Routemaster now because of Dave.
A Routemaster? Mm-hmm.
Okay, that screw is a little bit tweaked. Come on. And I looked at the part. I've got 6 packs in here, and I don't get to the part where I just barely get to the part where the battery box. If I get them all done tonight, the battery box will go in. And based on what Dave says on his channel, the battery box is just terrible and needs to be taped in.
Dave says to make sure the lugs drop into the channels on the bottom of the seats.
Oh, you mean the lugs on the seats? They're already in there. This one is plain, a little bit hard to get. Yeah, the lugs on the seats are already down, fully down. But I appreciate the tip, Dave. So now this is going to be a little bit of adjustment. Oh, you know, that's, the seats will twist a little bit. I was going to say it's going to take a little bit of adjustment, but it's because the seats are only attached on one side. And so these will go in with...
Dave says the top holes on the seat backs may need paint block clearing too.
Yeah. Hey, guess what that sound was? That was my HDMI cable showing up.
Go get it.
I'm not going to mess with the camera during the stream. Two things came in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count to 5 real good. I don't know if you guys heard that. I don't know if you guys saw, I just extended the screwdriver to make sure I can actually reach all the way across. This one is lining up, so I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. Maybe. Got to turn it so I can actually look from the side.
Donnie wants to know, did you get a cam link as well?
I got a cheaper one. I didn't get the expensive one. Wasn't in the budget right now.
Oh, Crafty Chris is here. Hi, Christine.
Hey, how's it going?
Another UKer?
Well, based on the last video I watched from Dave where he said, yeah, I did. He is having his wife do the seats or help him with the seats.
Well, that's why she's here. She's the professional.
Yes, I was going to say Mrs. Dave has been helping, and that would be Crafty Chris. That's on, and again, those cheaper ones work really good too. Good.
Was that just like a HDMI converter for your computer or what? Gotcha.
Yeah, what it's still going through USB, but it plugs into the USB port in the back, the USB 3 port. And then
Dave is correcting him. Donnie, it's not petrol or gasoline. This bus runs on diesel.
Awesome. See how you are, Donnie? Okay, no dying on the stream there. Yeah, HDMI to USB. These buses are extremely enjoyable to build. As a matter of fact, I don't know how soon after I finish this one, but I have, this one is a 1/12. And I have a 1/24th scale as well. Okay.
Donnie learned something today.
Oh, his day's done. So that was tell people. I learned something today. I'm no good for the rest of the day. This one is not playing very nice. I need a third hand here.
You need a Cisco. Everybody needs a Cisco.
Yep. Yeah, but see, that's the thing is the person who would most likely be my Cisco lives about 2,000 miles away. Eric would be my Cisco. Of course, the only problem with that is then he'd be busy doing family time and he wouldn't show up. We only pick on you about that, Eric, because we're kind of jealous, I think. That one's tight. And as these screws went in, I could feel the wall actually tightening up. As you can see, these seats are solid. These seats have got a lot of wiggle to them. Funny thing about the Revell kit, the 1/24th, the decals are probably going to kill me because when I do it, all these seats that I had to put together, they all have that same decal. I believe the top and the back and the bottom of the seat are two separate decals, so that's a ton of decals. Oh yeah, much better. I don't know if you noticed when I was picking it up, the floor would flex. Doing the other side will be more challenging. Yes, it will.
I saw that.
Yeah, well, it's not flexing anymore.
So what makes it more challenging? Is that because there's things you can't get to as easily?
Yeah, because the wall is going to make it more challenging. Although with a shorter screwdriver, I think it would be a little bit worse. And if it really gets iffy, I'll break out the other extension, but it's a wiggly extension. I think, yeah, the camera is moved just a hair. That should be better. Wow, 74 in here. It's supposed to be in the 70s. I mean, tomorrow's the 1st of November, and it's supposed to be in the 70s all week here.
Is that unusual?
In November? Yeah. I forget that you're in Phoenix. I just noticed something. I didn't.
Gilly's here saying Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, Gilly.
Happy Halloween, Gilly.
Dave says he'd love the Rebel one, but far too much in his stash as it is. Oh, Buck knows all about that.
You can see pictures of my stash as the stream starts, and I didn't double check. There. What you heard was, and oh, by the way, hey, Gilly, what you heard was me doing what Dave told me to do, but I didn't pay attention. There are little brackets there for the lugs on the bottom of the seat to hit. And God takes care of fools and me. These were in there. This one was shifted to the front. That actually works out well too by saying fools and me, because it's actually God takes care of drunks and fools, and I'm drinking.
Was it an easy enough fix, or did you have to take the seat?
No, I just pushed a little bit. You should have heard it pop when I got it in place.
Oh, look, the Canadians got 5 days of snow coming. Nobody's surprised. I'm sure it's the first 5 of 100 days of snow, probably.
Oh, yeah. Well, Eric's got the same stuff coming.
I saw that. He's going to drop 40 degrees in one day. Good old Bismarck.
Yeah. When he posted that he had, 70 degrees? I was like, holy crap, what happened? I just looked at this, and Todd and I were talking about it, and he mentioned it during the last stream. I did still have the note. That was on the issue for the cab, because I'd gotten 2 broken ones. I like the idea of keeping it for posterity. After I attach this to the bottom of the bus, I'm going to actually tape that to the bottom of the bus, and it will be there forever. As a reminder.
Very excited about his snow.
Can't wait. Gilly lies. Actually, the first snow isn't bad. It's the 17th snow. And when you have to keep shoveling that stuff. Right now, we're still... Good.
No, I was going to say, I won't live anywhere I have to shovel snow. That's my limit.
Well, I expected to have to shovel snow here. And I'm going to jinx myself and end up with more snow than I know what to do with. But I've noticed it's really funny where we live, because most of the weather comes from west to east. And so St. Louis is this big hot box to the west of us. And we're in the shadow of St. Louis. I mean, we're directly in the shadow of St. Louis. Snow and other, the severe thunderstorms, the tornado watches, things like that, they go about 2 miles to the north and 2 miles to the south of us. We are literally in St. Louis's shadow. So I've seen it where, north and south of us, they get 2 or 3 inches and it never snows here. It is the oddest thing I've ever seen. But it's also really cool because I have a snow shovel and I think I've used it once. So just in case, let me see. Nope. Well, nothing really. It's Jalen just posted something on Facebook. So these will go on there with IP screws. Interesting. Okay, this goes up further forward. I just looked down and there's a screw hole here and one right next to it. Now we're going to find out exactly how right Dave is on how difficult this can be. I'm going to do the same thing, but before I tighten it, as I did on the other side, which is, get all the screws started. But before I tighten them down, I'm going to make sure all the seats are in the right spot. While I'm doing this, let me take this short screwdriver.
Dave says we have typical weather here. Is that minuet? Bloody rain. Well, that's the UK for you. Of course, when I went to the UK, I seem to bring the sunshine wherever I go because I went up to Seattle for 5 days, not a drop. Went to London twice. I think it rained. I was there for a week. It rained once.
I've only managed to get to the UK one time, and it was for just an overnight. I was catching a ride on a KC-10 back from Al Dhafra in the UAE. And we spent the night, I mentioned this before, spent the night at Bentwaters. One thing I don't think I mentioned was that when we got back to Tinker in Oklahoma, a couple of the guys got taken off the plane in handcuffs.
Uh-oh.
Well, it used to be, when I first came in, and this was before the Gulf War, it used to be that you could drink on military flights if you kept your head about you. Well, these kids got stupid. I mean, they got plowed. And one of them happened to be the one who ended up the night before in the hospital with almost alcohol poisoning, at which point I stopped being a passenger because the major, our pilot, couldn't stay there all night. She had crew rest to make sure she got. So she called me up and said, "Yeah, I need you to come over here and take care of this guy." I'm like, "Huh? Yeah, you are my troop commander because you're the highest ranking one on the plane. You need to come over and take care of this guy and make sure he gets back to the base and on the plane tomorrow." I'm like, "Okay." Well, like I said, he got drunk and stupid on the flight. And so when we got back to the base, they had us sitting there waiting while the cops came out, and they took these three guys off the plane in handcuffs. Not a good way to end a deployment.
Oh.
I was just looking. There isn't, that I can see, a really good way to make sure that those things are popped into place until the screws are in. That one's there. Good. It's not tightened all the way, so still has a little bit of play. Worst part of this is actually getting the screw to go into the initial hole and getting it to not cross thread. And it's also tricky to keep it in the screw head. Actually, I have been to the UK one other time. I just thought about that. When I went to Cyprus, I flew into Heathrow. My flight was late. It was just not a good time at all. I was just glad to get to the hotel and crash until I caught my plane the next day. There is where Dave was talking about is going to be tricky. Because that seat is definitely in the way. So I'm doing it again, Todd. I'm getting the little screwdrivers that come with the kit.
Uh-oh.
There is a reason why they give you these things. I recognize that. That's a Skype phone call.
Teams, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I recognize it because I get the same thing whenever I make a phone call or I call somebody. Come on. This one is just at a really odd place. Said I might have to do it. I'm going to try it. The problem is the handle is too wide for it to really work well going through the window here. Truthfully, having two of the solid shafts would be easier, but it's in there. Now let me make sure I've got all that's in there, that's in there. Everything is lined up. All the seats are in place. And now you can see these walls are good and solid. And that is the end of stage 48. Actually, they show it upside right. They show you a picture of the seat from the, or when it's done. You know, I just realized what the problem is with my light here. After the great shelf crash of 2022, I used to have one of the shop lights was running right here. You can't see it. Used to have one running right above everything here. And I don't have that anymore. It's over here on my right instead.
So you don't have a top down anymore?
I don't. I don't have one that's directly over. I've got the 3 panel lights, but I don't have the full-on shop light. And that's why it's a little bit darker. So I need to move that back over here. Which means I got to do a little bit of work to figure that out. Oh, I know what I need to do, because what I did was I actually shifted all the lights basically one block to the right. So it was hanging from the shelf brackets here. The one that's plugged into it, because they are daisy chained, was hanging on the next thing over, or next one over from where it's at. So I just need to move the shelf lights this week. These actually do take a bit of time, because I've managed to do those 2 sides, and that took me 45 minutes. Next, 49, is the rescue two sides for the bottom. Scalpel. I was about to cut on the butcher block surface. It's designed for that, but I've never cut on it yet. I've dropped something on the butcher block surface before, and that's marred it a little bit. Turn these guys over. So we get this DP screws out of here. I'm aware of the possibility of something more from Amazon. Of the little brackets hiding somewhere. Oh, okay. I'm sitting here going, there's got to be more than two. No, there doesn't. Look at the page and it shows only two. There's the IP screws. Note to self, do not set parts on top of the screw boxes. Can't find them then. I think Todd might be on a phone call because he's been very quiet.
I'm just letting you do your thing.
Only reason I say that is Dave's chat. He said that he just did the exact same issue on his blue one. That blue one is going to be really cool.
I've been impressed with it so far.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Dave is doing one of these and painting it blue. He's redoing the whole paint job, I believe. So these are the exact same lugs as before. We're going to pop in here and here, be held in by a couple of screws. Nice little ting there. So there's one. I get that from when he counts when he does 4 screws, he'll count them.
You could count like Count Dracula. 1 screw.
That would be the Count from Sesame Street. It was kind of funny. My wife thought that trick-or-treating wasn't happening because of what she saw Eric's post where they had gone out for trunk and treat and all that. And I do agree that is much safer. But also remember 44 years ago, the last time I trick or treated, it was cool to be just go disappear for a while. But you can't do that these days.
Do they go trick or treating in the UK? Dave, fill me in. Is that a thing over there?
I was just reading through the instructions real quick.
So you build this whole interior, and you put a frame around it, and then you add panels to the frame, like the outside panels?
Yes. That's exactly how it works. And I believe that when the panels go on, the outside panels go on, they will, blame it on us. It's all our fault.
Yeah. I was wondering if the American holidays leak. People like, well, they do it over there. We should do that over here.
Oh yeah. Well, what's funny is that in Germany, a lot of people, especially anybody that's been near a base, a lot of people will celebrate Thanksgiving in Germany.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
and
weird.
that is a completely, huh?
That's weird. That'd be like the UK celebrating Independence Day. That's just weird.
Yeah. Well, they do that because people have been around Americans. Now, there are a ton of Americans living over there. And we considered, especially since Andreas from Austria, retiring over there when I retired from the military, but we were stateside when I retired. But I would have to I'd have to speak a lot more German than I do for that to have worked out well for us. This is interesting. I need to be able to see down in there, but I can't. There's something is binding somewhere. I think. Because it's splitting right there. Maybe the seats will pull it together. Okay, seats. No, it doesn't say anything. Let's see what happens. DPs, not CPs. I just about spilled the DP screws everywhere. These should not be a problem other than just using a single extension, because the placement on the windows I don't think is going to cause any issues. Of course, if I could keep the screw on there. I'm just looking at this while I'm doing it, and I'm like, it would really suck trying to do this if there were windows there.
Yeah, he says don't worry too much about the sides. They'll be okay later in the build. The joinings on the sides.
Yeah, but I just realized right here, there's 2 screw holes or lugs right that are going to pull it together. It just looks a little bit worrisome because it is open like that. Pulling up on the part of the seat I really don't want to. So, might have to try and do this right or left-handed because since I'm right-handed, I have a little bit more control. Oh, you're just in there. I've got it. Stuff all kinds of in the way there. Just make sure that one, yeah.
He did say it'd be trickier on this side.
Yep. Yeah, and let's see. Where's the magic button? Come on. There we go. So you see, that gap is what bothers me.
Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. That's going to close up with the frame.
Yeah, that'll get pulled together later on. Okay, camera just paid for itself.
Dave says it's kind of fragile for quite a while now, especially the other rear as bits stick out that you can easily break. So just take care of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about. This actually is sticking out beyond the back. Oh man, beyond the back and beyond the bottom of the bus.
Oh, that's a big panel.
Let me put this up on the side. Here's what I'm talking about. It sticks out beyond the back, which that wouldn't be so bad, but this little piece here is going to be, it's going to want to snap. Here's an idea. Now that this is in place, let me read the instructions and make sure I put it in the right spot.
How bad would it be to store that upside down on its lid, just on those tabs?
It shouldn't be that bad, but see, here's the thing. Where I actually store it is I put it on the chassis. To me, that's the best overall place. So that's all IP screws. It's 3 of them. There's going to be one here, and one here. I mean, I agree. If I didn't have the chassis, let's say we started with this, I would definitely store it upside down and put it on some sort of a cushion. Tell you right now, I do not know how many of these screws I found on the floor here.
Do you have a hard floor there or carpet?
Hard floor. But what they tend to do is if I drop something, it immediately heads for the wall. Actually, if I didn't have the chassis, if I don't store it on the chassis, I know what I'm going to store it on. I'm going to store it on the blocks that you're supposed to keep the chassis on. So that should be tall enough. Okay. It's kind of funny because I showed 2 pictures of it like this. But it's all white. I'm sure it is sitting on top of something so that this doesn't snap. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. I'm just making sure that I can set this aside. Maybe on the matter of fact, I'm going to put it on the chassis. It's not set on there to where it's pretty. It's just set there to where it is going to sit in place. Because the next issue is the route indicator. It would be kind of neat if you could change this. You know. Now somebody's going to pop on and say, yeah, I sell a mod for that. So in this pack, you've got the route indicator, canopy for it, 2 hinges, and actually, let me set it there. It's almost in the right spot even. Little bitty tiny crank. That would be easy to snap off or lose. And then all plastic screws again. Those are APs. Let me set those aside. When I put the screws away, 2 DPs fell on the towel. And I'm like, that's probably what I'm going to need for this.
What do you do with all of your extra screws at the end of the build? When you finish a build, what do you do with them?
A lot of times I'll leave them in this. Here lately, because I've been needing these boxes, I take them and throw them all into like a medicine bottle or something. Eventually, they're going to end up as weight for the inside of a airplane, an airplane model.
Oh, like ballast?
Yeah. So there's a couple of screw holes on the back of here. That's where the hinges. There you got the hinge. It's got 3 holes in it. And see, that's what I'm talking about. There's just not quite enough light there. I will definitely be moving that light or both lights over because it's not bright enough. Thought it was cool to have the light directly over the bench on my right, but this is and has been for a long time the main building bench. I'm literally sitting where the shelf would have, if I'd have been here, the shelf would have fallen on me.
That would not have been good.
No, but the worst part of it would have been the shelf itself because the models, they don't weigh much. You know, I've been thinking it's time to redo my title cards,
Why is that?
my end cards. That picture's going to end up in the title cards. That picture, because I want to take a new picture of the stash, because the one that I'm using is 2 years old. While I'm at it, put a picture, a picture of this collapsed shelf.
And we can listen to Dave. Dave says, I don't think there's a mod for that yet, but he's seen people paint them matte black and find their own numbers. You're talking about the blinds? The destination blinds?
Yeah, he's talking about this right here. No, so the mod that I would like to see is a new frame for this. And, something like you did for the kit, where this is actually on white and a light inside the box.
Mm. Is it lit on the real buses?
That I don't know.
I would bet it was. Yeah.
Huh?
Is it not lit on this model, I take it?
No, it's not. Just an empty box. I'm about to put the wrong screws in there. That would be, and I only grabbed 2, I need 4. That would be something to do on the Revell kit. What I think is funny is something like this. I would think that they would put smaller screws in here. I'm just looking at the size of these screws compared to what would really be there on these route numbers.
That's 2 people that say, yeah, that was lit on the real bus.
Very cool. Yeah, I would think it would be because I'm sure these run at night as well as during the day.
For sure.
But what I'm saying is, if you look at those screws, those are huge to scale.
Is that inside the bus or outside?
It's inside the bus. It's actually going to be right here above the driver.
Gotcha.
Or no, yeah, that's above the driver. Oh no, it's on the outside of the bus actually, because this is the driver's cab is going to be here. This is outside of the bus. This is where the hood attaches. So let me see. I'm pretty sure it says press fit on this. Yeah, it's a push fit. And I'm sure on the real bus, this little crank handle is how you change the number.
Yep. Dave says the side light on this side is not lit on this model. He modded his blue one with an LED though.
Very cool. And Todd knows this. Todd mods his models like a madman. I don't mod hardly anything because then if I did, I wouldn't have time to do anything but the mods. And I'm not going to say that I'm actively engaged in 19 models. But I have 19 models in work. I'm actively engaged on about 5 right now.
It's interesting that they make that panel fold down and there's nothing in there. Why didn't they just make it a box?
Well, I think the real reason they make it fold down is because there's a panel on the back of this, which would make the screws interesting to get to, or get the screws. You couldn't have them sticking up very high, the screw heads. And so I think the reason it folds down is so that you can put these screws and these screws inside where you don't see them.
Yeah, they could have done that without the screws. Cos Khalid says it's coming along. Looks good.
Thanks, Khalid. Anybody who was not here last week will not know this, but Khalid is actually somebody I work with. Okay, so 51.
Dave says he says the handle on the box breaks really easily, so he put them in the box until the bus is fully built. Well, that's probably a good thing. I do that with a lot of parts on PartWorks, little tiny pieces. Just save them for later. I did that with that Titanic. It's got these little valve stem pipes that come out the top of each of the cylinders on the engines. And I watch other people build it, and they're all bent all to hell. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to save those for later.
Well, what I just did was I just took the handle off and put it inside the box, like Dave said. Now that may save me from breaking it, but it may fall off at some point. Get those screws out. All plastic screws tonight. Except we've got some cream color and some red JP screws, and these are the windows. Did not see them. Oh, wow, there's a lens in there as well. And see, like I said, drop that handle and it headed for the wall.
You dropped it already? Oh, a new one.
I dropped this one. Oh, no, the little handle?
Yeah, I thought you dropped that one and lost it on the floor already.
No. I'm almost tempted. That's plastic. I don't know where I put my little tape. I wonder I can't find them. I put them away. I put everything away when I redid the shop. It's kind of nice. My concern with putting tape on here is it pulling paint, but I believe that's red plastic, and this is washi tape. It's supposed to come off really easy anyway. No fingerprints on the glass if I can avoid it. 3 different colors. Make sure the JP screws are supplied in 3 different colors. Make sure you fit them in the correct places to blend in with the part they are attaching. Makes complete sense. This, put this up here. That is really
How great
cool.
is that? Looks good.
That is so cool. That is, it's there, and I believe it's actually painted, not a decal. Or it's probably not painted, it's printed. First thing it says to do is position these handles. These lugs, there's lugs on these handles that stick out a little bit. Screw sockets that they go into, and they sit on there. These are going to be DP screws. You know, something I never mentioned on the stream. I just take it for granted that people know. Anybody who is watching that would, if they would like to build this model, go to the Agora.com in the States. I'm not sure what it is anywhere else in the US or anywhere else besides the US, but go to Agora.com, and this is actually available to purchase and build yourself.
I wonder if that's the only place you can get it right now. I know it was obviously from Hachette, but can you still get it from Hachette?
I don't know. But the problem with trying to get it from Hachette for us is we're on the wrong side of the ocean. You're in the wrong country. Because isn't Hachette French?
Sounds like it. It makes sense. That's where Altaia is, where they test all the different part works. They do all those tests out there.
Yeah.
Wow. Gilly doesn't believe that other people watch this. Yeah, smack him around.
Nobody watches Gilly. I know that. Except for on the streams, you know, when he does the Friday stream with us and the Sunday stream. Ireland, very cool.
All right,
welcome. And I will be honest, anybody on that side of the ocean, I'm very pleased when you guys show up, because I stream earlier than I used to give you guys the opportunity. Gordon, who is Hobby Time, has been watching for a long time, and he would talk about how late it was, and I'm like, I can't do that to him.
How sad is it that I'm Irish and I've never been to Ireland? It's definitely on my list.
I've got some Irish in me. I'm mostly German, and then every other brand that you can think of. I am a true mutt. Okay, let's lay the inner front panel flat. Fix the 2 windows and the recesses. I'm taking care not to get finger marks. I'm taking care not to get finger marks on the windows. Especially the one behind the driver. That one may get to be interesting to get to at all. So it's laying there. It's 47 holes line fixed in place. Left hand side with true cream. So this is interesting. The recesses for the windows are on this part. You lay this on top here, and then you pick it up and hopefully keep the windows in place. Wow, those are clear. Two cream on the left-hand side. So two over here, two of the cream colored ones. And then two of the red colored, 5 of the red colored ones, sorry, will be on the bottom. The squirrels must be bothering Apollo. You could hear the windows shake when I dropped the piece. There's actually a raised part bit on the front side of the cantilever, completely red part, that is going to hold the window in place. Get the red ones out.
Maybe zoom in a little. Can I frame this a little
Yeah,
better?
I could do that. I could do that. Come on.
Serba says he grew up in London, would take a Routemaster to school every day on the 3 route. The conductor would dispense tickets using a hand crank ticket machine. Wow.
That's what's funny is that you really know how much the world or different parts of the world are, because this bus is something unique for us that are in the States. But for the folks that are from the UK, it's just commonplace. It's just there. It's part of what is normal day to day.
Uh-oh. Khalid says it might be trick-or-treaters. Are you responsible for the trick-or-treaters?
Me? No.
Yeah.
I am irresponsible for everything. Well, you guys got a double decker in the next city over? I'm jealous. Of course, over in Missouri, in Branson, which is about, I want to say I think it's actually about 3.5 hours away. Branson has a building shaped like the Titanic. They have a Titanic museum there, which is kind of funny, having a Titanic museum in a landlocked city.
Did you ever go to the one in the Luxor in Vegas?
Yeah, but it's been a long, long time ago.
I think it's still there.
Well, what, the Luxor? I'm sure
The
it is.
Titanic exhibit in the Luxor.
Oh, no, it's been a long time. It's the last time I was in Vegas for any amount of time, it was about 15, 20 years ago. Although it's kind of funny, they were talking about in a video I was watching today about the Sands in Vegas. Yeah, I was there when they blew it up.
God, you're old.
I am. That's okay. That's okay, Todd. You'll be old too, or you're getting there a little bit at a time.
Every day, I keep getting closer to you.
Yep. Yeah, but see, that's the thing is I keep getting further away too.
I'll never catch up. That's something you have on me.
And on the last time I was in bed, no, it wasn't the last time. When I went, the first time I went after they built the stratosphere, I have a fear of heights, and I still went up inside that thing and went on the big shot twice.
I would go up to the top of it. You wouldn't pay me enough to go on that thing that launches you even higher. Pass.
That one's calm. That one is very calm. That one is, is really not that big a deal. It's actually kind of really cool because it lifts you up about 18 inches or so at first. And the best time to do is go right at dusk because they have these reddish orange lights that come on underneath you as if it's like a rocket launching. And you're just sitting there and it's just kind of going bouncing up and down.
No. Pass.
And
Dave
then
says
suddenly
side light glass.
Yeah, satellite glass there. And suddenly you shoot straight up in the air at 4 Gs.
Nope.
Well, here's the funny thing, Todd. I have a fear of heights. I did that thing, and then when it blew my mind. When I got off the elevator on the 109th floor, the doors open, and I saw they got this big glass wall in front of you, and it's a good 30, 40 feet away. But as soon as the doors opened, I dropped to my knees, and I crawled over and looked out the window.
I'm with Gilly. Pass.
Well, what's funny is when the adrenaline rush you get, and they get you because it costs you $6 to get up there, used to cost you $6 to get up there, $6 to ride. As you're coming down the stairs to come down from the ride, it says ride again for $3.
Uh-oh. I think Dave is warning you. He said the side light glass needs to go in first.
What? Oh no. Hang on.
Talking about getting launched off buildings, and you got sidetracked.
Okay. The dog hair needs to not be in there. Oh no. Now this is when I need the electric screwdriver so that I can have it slip off and have it go shooting across, scratch everything to pieces. Thank you, Dave. I'd have been sitting here looking at this going, how the hell does this go in here? Now you all know, anybody who didn't know it already know my secret. I don't read any of the instructions for the most part.
It shows.
I scan them. I scan them a little bit. See, what's funny is Dave didn't say anything until I had the last screw in.
Well, he said side light glass. He did call it out like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, he did? That's okay. And it's not anything that will be seen ever. But there was extra paint in this hole. And so there's
Well,
little
yeah.
schmucks in that screw.
You're working off camera too, by the way.
Oh, no. Thank you. I do that a lot.
Don't you have the stream up on like a huge TV in front of you?
No,
Oh, I thought you
I
did.
haven't. No, it's on. There's a huge monitor here, but I've got it split between the stream and the instructions. And there is a keyway in there. Now this is interesting, the way they've got this designed, because it will just fall right back out. Of course, they put these pieces of glass, and that's
Not your fault, Dave. It's totally not your fault. It's totally Buck's fault. He bucked it up.
I bucked
face
it up. And I was off screen. This is where Dave put the LED. There's a recess in there that is just the right size for an LED. Now, interesting that the recess is here. The recess for the other windows is there. So you've got to somehow flip this over to get them to match up. I'm going to try it this way. I've got it sitting on top of there. And if you guys didn't catch it, we've come up with a new thing to say ever since I killed the stream one day. When something goes wrong, it's been bucked up. Like that window. I'm off screen again. Sorry. This window slipped out while I was getting this screw started. Feels like it's in place. That one's good. That one's good. Okay. Now I can go back to work. That was probably Eric saying, I'm back from trick-or-treating. Oh, no, it's Gilly uploading pictures. Wait, he just said, and here she sits. See how Gilly is? Distracting me.
So he's on the
very
stream
nice.
distracting you. He's posting pictures on Discord to distract you. Then you leave sidelight lenses out. See how it goes?
Yeah. I'm just completely lost. Now, Gilly's been working on a NASCAR, and if I'm not mistaken, it's the one that had some really rough decals. He coated them with Future, and the car looks fantastic. I just happened to look over. See, and that's what's funny, Todd, is I've got the monitor to my right with the YouTube stream going, which means it's 7 seconds delay. I just looked over and saw that I was off camera there. I don't look at the one in front of me.
Gilly says thank you. It does look good, Gilly. Should I share the link to Discord? Probably do that.
Sure, absolutely. It's also in the link is also in the description, but yeah.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, it's in the description of the video. You can join our Discord. That's where Gilly is posting right now. For anybody that's not there already.
I had a thought today. Didn't do it on this one, but I'm going to update my what I put in the description, because that description was originally written before Hobby Time Modelers became a thing. And so it says, it's got my Facebook, it's got Hobby Time Modelers Facebook, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. It doesn't have my YouTube on it. Somebody can be watching this on Facebook or YouTube on Hobby Time Modelers and not know where to find my channel if they wanted to. Although it's kind of obvious because of the name. I almost grabbed that glass.
Your
Okay.
YouTube's in there. Your YouTube's in the description, along with your Facebook and your scale mates. Yeah. Well, if you're using the HTM one, or you have your own.
I'm not. That's the thing. I have my own. That's why what made me think about it. Now it says, put the bus body upside right so you can snap off the bottom piece.
Break that right off. Yep.
And attach the front of the bus. And as always, they have 2 spare screws. Or one of each color, so it ends up being 2. And with the black ones, it's actually going to end up being 3. You know what I've noticed is I get going on these things, and I get talking, and I've got a drink sitting here, and I don't drink anything. So let me see. Do I have anything handy? I do have something that should fit the bus body without any, or the bus interior without any problems. By the way, that's how clear that glass is. I tried to reach through it.
First world problems.
So if I set it on this box, which inside has a Delta Flyer, shameless plug for Cosmic Scale models. Now, this is well off the ground.
Just don't knock it off of there.
Yeah. Thanks, Todd. That's always what happens is as soon as somebody says something, there it goes.
Well, that way I can say I told you so when you break it.
Yeah. So let me see, to position it. I'll point out all these numbers and everything else. Just making sure 4 screws and then screws on the bottom. Not the red and cream color ones. And the way I've got this set, that's going to end up being off camera. So there's 4 screws, 2 on either side. That's a little bit precarious, but it'll be okay.
Famous last words.
Better that box than the 15 pounds of chassis. And I just thought of something. My hand is sitting here sweating, and I'm like, why am I still wearing the gloves?
I don't know. You done playing with Windows?
Yeah, I believe so.
The minute you
And
take them off, you're going to touch a window. You know that.
I know, absolutely. Well, it's funny, and I don't think you caught it, but I did actually almost put a fingerprint on the window with my left hand.
I saw it.
Times like this, I should have a piece of plastic somewhere in the background that I can snap and go, oh no. That would be wrong though.
In the part work and like in the model building, world that we live in, is that that's cringe? That's just us cringing. We hear something snap off.
Yeah.
I get that when you were working on that and you were flexing the plastic and you're like working on it and the plastic was kind of grinding on itself. It's like pulling a wool sweater out of the dryer when it's wet. Oh, makes your teeth hurt.
By the way, good call on leaving the gloves on. I just touched the window.
See?
It was almost a perfect count on screws by just grabbing a bunch. I'm actually shy by one screw.
Gilly says if the Peterbilt becomes a thing, he will start live streaming his build.
Oh yeah.
I hope it does. I might just build that.
I will.
I'm torn about the Falcon. Like if the Falcon ever comes out, I don't know. I'm thinking about where am I gonna put it. It's so big.
That's what makes it cool.
I build yeah, I would build the tumbler. I would build the Bayformer transformer they're testing. Would have done the Hogwarts Express, but
I don't know if you saw what I just about did.
What'd you do?
I got to here and I went, wait, no. I almost set it down. Let's see, 43. Considering this next one, heck with it. I was going to say, I'm going to stop there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do one more pack.
Nice. Keep going.
It doesn't have quite the impact when you're in person.
All right, everybody in chat, tell him to keep going.
And anybody who's in chat that has not done anything with Partworks or doesn't know anything about Partworks at all, what he's talking about with the Peterbilt is that the Peterbilt 859 Hachette in France has just started doing a test. So we're really hopeful that the French buy it and love it a lot.
Yeah.
Because if they do, it'll become a full-on build. Right now, with it being a test build, it may not ever see stateside.
See, Cerebus
there
says
we
keep
go.
It up. From Ireland, all the way from Ireland, says keep going.
That's right. And it's the middle of the night there for him, so I got to keep going.
Your soothing voice is keeping him awake. Or her.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Must not. It can't be that soothing then.
Yeah, Gilly.
Although I have,
Let's hope. I hope there's a lot of them that manage to make it over here. Agora carries Hachette, so some of those are D'Agostini, which is a little trickier, but I'd love to see him here.
well, see, Agora carries Hachette, which means that if they do do a full build on it, we won't see it for a year and a half because Agora does their stuff 12 months at a time, except for the Titanic. Titanic's first one that they've gone more than 120 issues. You buy them 10 at a time.
Yeah, it's almost midnight where he is. They work with D'Agostini too, because the fire truck is from D'Agostini, or was D'Agostini originally. So Gilly asks, why is an American truck being tested in France? Because that's where they test all of them. Because Hachette is French.
Yep.
D'Agostini's Italian, but for whatever reason they have offices in France too. Like Altaia is that's their French division. Like D'Agostini Planeta. That apparently France is the deciding factor for a lot of them.
So, ticket box, 2 screws go on this side to hold it in place. What I didn't show you is there's the 2 lugs on the back. There were sockets on the back, other side of this panel. And the screws are recessed here, so that tells me that the wall that goes on here is going to be pretty flat against this panel. Interesting thing to note, and Dave can verify, I believe wires run in here because that's what those channels are, because I believe these are actually going to be buttons that work. It's a large.
Gilly says, bad move on their part. They would get a lot more testing over here. Well, yeah, probably. But I don't think Hachette has a true distributor type setup here. They're pretty much non-existent. At least D'Agostini does, but yeah.
On the Eagle Moss, the company that is no more, and there is a keyway on these, by the way. So they will be right side up. But Eagle Moss, the problem with the tests is if you put one out, if you say you're going to do a test build and you never do it, that's why that looks funky. Somehow I brought up the menu, opened the menu, and come on. There we go. I was going to say, this is not as good a little thing as I thought. But there you can see.
Put it in the center. It tends to focus on the center point. So put that text in the center of the screen. There you
right.
go.
Wow. See that? That is wild.
It looks really good. I love that print. What is right above the ticket box? Is there some text there too? It says use tickets. Does it have tiny text that I can't see? Is there like a black text there above the used tickets? What's that say?
There is. I can barely see it. To carry 64 passengers, 28 lower deck, 36 upper deck.
Oh, capacity marker. Cool.
There you go.
That is cool.
That is
details
cool.
like that I love. This reminds me a lot of the Mura. It's got a lot of those little details like that printed on, and it's really cool.
Actually, that's too far out. Stop. That was not me. I'm not. I'm not all that impressed with this remote control.
It's a little delayed.
It's a little delayed, plus it sometimes has a mind of its own. Like right now. I blame Donnie.
Cerebus says the starting signal was the conductor giving 2 quick rings on the bell like ding ding and a single ding to tell the driver to stop at the next stop. In relation
Very
to
cool.
the sign saying passengers and whatnot. Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right, because I believe there's always two people on here. The guy, the conductor in the back and the driver in the front.
Gilly
I got
has
a
no
lemon
problems
dot.
with his remote, so it's yours. It must be your remote, he says. Fantastic.
I blame Donnie still.
Yep.
Of course, it's better than the getting the $150 one.
Well, I know because I have the same one you do, and Donnie has, and I know that it goes to sleep you the first time you push a button, it like wakes up, and then you have to push that button again.
Ah,
My little numeric keypad I use to switch cameras is the same way.
okay. I'm sitting here looking. I'm trying to put this on the wrong side. There are pins in here. There's holes, 2 holes, one for a screw, one for a pin.
Cerebus says the driver was in their own little compartment, and the conductor was in a general passenger area. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I can fully understand that because back when I used to take buses about 1,000,000 years ago, we actually got to be really good friends with the bus driver. And so we would be holding conversations with him. And so he would not be paying attention as much as he could to the road. Never got dangerous, but it could have. And again, multicolored screws. The rest of these are black. These are silver to match the chrome.
This is, I think, the first part work I've ever seen that has pre-painted screws like that, and I've seen red ones and beige ones, and
oh yeah, I think it's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Gilly says when he lived in Winnipeg, he used the bus all the time.
I did too. My kids have grown up spoiled. They don't think they can live without a car. I grew up poor. Okay, so single screw at the bottom and 2 at the top. And there are a couple of lugs here that's why that one's kind of funky right now. That lug is not in. There's a couple of lugs there or I guess you'd call them pins, pop into holes here. That's better. I would get in touch with Chloe and tell her I'm doing her power mod on my stream on Thursday. Maybe she'll pop in.
She might if you do it early enough.
What are you saying? Are you saying she works?
Yeah.
Just looking. That one's a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to call this good. Let me get this
Let's
out
see
of
those
the way.
bars real quick. Oh, is that like a cloth texture, or is it just like a painted white part that looks like a
It's painted
handle?
white.
Looks good
Yeah,
though.
it's painted white. Okay, I just figured out what you have to do with this remote. Maybe. I wonder if I just got a bad battery with it.
Oh, it was sitting in a box for 2 years, you know.
Yeah. I can take care of that. I actually have these batteries, you know, extra ones of these batteries laying around. There. Something weird with it. But yeah, this is just painted. So let me take the bottom half of this box off. Because it's plenty tall enough just with the one. That's actually not sticking down near as far as it looks like. It's only sticking down about an inch. But still, that's an inch too far when you snap it off. This. Just trying to figure out where the lugs are. The parts that are going to actually line it up. Okay. That's why it's not fitting, because the lugs are facing the other direction. I'm trying to put this in backwards.
Donnie asked, did you turn off the PC control and phone control in the camera?
Turn off the PC control.
Yeah, I remember seeing
control.
those. There was separate settings for those.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know for sure if I did or not. I'll have to check that, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. No, that's too far down. Dave is sitting there laughing at me, trying to just kind of work this in here.
No, he's not. He would never laugh at you.
Too.
You're trying. I'm laughing at you, but Dave would never laugh at you.
You're laughing for Dave.
That's right. By proxy.
That's kind of the way it goes in there. So that is what I've managed to accomplish tonight, is I put walls on there. This one is not in place permanently. It's there, but it's going to come back off. And with that, I'm going to call this a stream for tonight.
Donnie, you're throwing out the hip sayings.
What did I say? It was so hip. That is the wife just got home. So let me switch cameras real quick. I'm gonna switch to the other one, the other bench. Okay, so leaving it there for now. Thursday, I will be streaming the Terminator.
Oh, picking up what you're putting down.
Ah, okay. I've been using that forever. But like I said, Thursday I'll be streaming the Terminator, doing the mod. Be my 2 year. That's probably the only thing special I'm going to do. You can hear the dogs barking in the background. The wife just got home from the grocery store, so I'm going to cut the outro a little bit short. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you coming by, liking well. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate that. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Like, subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers and see what we're about. Bunch of guys over there that this is what we do. Not all part works, but we hang out and we stream building models.
All right, wave goodbye. Bye.
Have a great evening and talk to you next time.